When a winter storm hits, it doesn't just bring the cold, it brings a complete system shutdown. The power grid fails, the heat dies, and suddenly your home is on the clock, losing warmth with every passing minute. While most people are fumbling with a few extra blankets and some half-dead flashlights, they're missing the bigger picture. Standard preparation is a gamble, and when temperatures plummet, it's a bet you can't afford to lose. That's why this video is different. Forget the generic advice you've heard 1,000 times. We're diving into 9 DIY cold weather hacks that you won't find in any official manual. These aren't about buying expensive gear. They're about using clever, practical strategies to transform your home into a fortress of warmth. We'll show you how to build self-contained heat traps, protect your pipes from bursting, and stretch your resources when help isn't coming. These are the real-world tactics preppers use to maintain control when the outside world descends into chaos. If you're serious about protecting your family and ensuring your shelter remains functional no matter how bad it gets, stay with us. These 9 hacks will give you an advantage that most people only wish they had when it's already too late. 1. Seal every gap and crack to create an airtight shell. Cold air doesn't need a formal invitation. It exploits every tiny weakness in your home's defenses. A gap the width of a coin around a window frame might seem insignificant, but when temperatures plummet, it becomes a superhighway for frigid air. The most fundamental and effective cold weather hack isn't a fancy gadget. It's the meticulous process of sealing the shell of your home. This step is often overlooked because it lacks glamour, but its impact is undeniable. Those who ignore it will spend the entire winter chasing warmth instead of trapping it. Official guidelines often mention insulation in broad terms, but fail to detail the sheer number of entry points cold air uses. Think of your home as a vessel in a sea of cold. Every unsealed crack is a leak. These breaches are everywhere, along baseboards, around window and door frames, through attic hatches, behind electrical outlets, and where plumbing enters your walls. Each one contributes to a constant slow bleed of heat. In a severe cold snap, this slow bleed turns into a critical drain, forcing your heating systems to work overtime and depleting precious fuel or battery reserves. The solution is simple and inexpensive, but it must be done before the storm arrives. Start with a thorough inspection. Move your hand along windows, doors, and vents to feel for drafts. Use a candle or incense stick and watch where the smoke wavers. Once you've identified the culprits, the fixes are straightforward. Apply foam tape or V-seal weather stripping to window frames and door jamb. Install door sweeps to block drafts at the bottom of exterior doors. For larger cracks, especially around pipes or in the foundation, expanding spray foam is your best tool. For smaller gaps along baseboards and trim, a simple line of caulk works wonders. Don't forget less obvious spots like mail slots, dryer vents, and outdoor-facing electrical outlets, which can be sealed with foam gaskets. Even temporary solutions like rolled-up towels, blankets, or pool noodles pushed against door bottoms can make a significant difference in an emergency. By dedicating an afternoon to this task, you're not just making your home more comfortable, you're taking control. You're building a defensive perimeter that allows every other system to perform better. Your heater runs less, your backup power lasts longer, and your internal temperature remains stable for hours, even days longer. Sealing your home is the foundational layer of winter preparedness that makes every other hack more effective. 2. Insulate and wrap your exposed pipes to prevent a catastrophic failure. With your home sealed against drafts, the next threat lurks silently within your walls, floors, and cabinets. Exposed water pipes are a ticking time bomb in freezing weather. When water freezes, it expands with enough force to split copper and PVC, leading to burst pipes. This isn't just a plumbing issue, it's a catastrophic failure that can disable your home's most vital systems. Suddenly, you lose the ability to cook, clean, and hydrate. Worse, a burst pipe can flood your living space, ruining supplies, causing structural damage, and creating a dangerously icy environment. While government agencies often suggest letting faucets drip as a preventive measure, this should be considered a last-ditch effort. A constant drip wastes a valuable resource and is not a guaranteed solution in a deep freeze. Proactive insulation is the only reliable defense. This is a critical task that separates the prepared from the panicked. The process is straightforward and requires minimal tools. The most accessible solution is foam pipe sleeves, which are pre-slit tubes that you simply cut to length, slide over the pipe, and secure with tape. They are inexpensive and highly effective. For more complex areas with bends and joints, use fiberglass wrap or flexible insulation tape, ensuring every inch of exposed pipe is covered. If you're caught unprepared, even household materials can serve as a temporary shield. Wrap pipes tightly with thick towels, blankets, or even layers of newspaper and secure them firmly with duct tape or zip ties. The key is to create a thermal barrier that slows the transfer of cold. Focus your efforts on the highest risk areas. Pipes in unheated basements, crawl spaces, garages, and attics. Pay special attention to pipes running along exterior walls, particularly those under kitchen and bathroom sinks. Open the cabinet doors under these sinks during extreme cold snaps to allow warmer air from the room to circulate around the pipes. For those in extremely cold climates, consider adding electric heat tape to especially vulnerable lines. This product provides a low-level continuous warmth directly to the pipe. By insulating your plumbing, you are preserving the integrity of your entire life support system. A functional water supply is non-negotiable in a crisis. Protecting it ensures you maintain control over your environment when the world outside is anything but controlled. 3. Implement interior zone heating to maximize warmth and resources. Once your home is sealed and your pipes are protected, it's time to shift from defense to strategic efficiency. Trying to heat an entire house during a power outage or extreme cold event is a losing battle. It's like trying to boil the ocean with a single flame. An impossible waste of energy. The smart approach is zone heating, concentrating your precious warmth into a small, defensible space. This tactic allows you to create a comfortable, livable sanctuary while conserving fuel, power, and energy. First, identify your heat zone. This should be a single, well-insulated room, preferably one without large windows or exterior walls. A bedroom or a small living area is an ideal choice. If you have a backup heat source like a propane heater or a wood stove, choose the room where it can be operated safely. Once you've selected your zone, the goal is to isolate it completely from the rest of the house. Close the doors to all unused rooms. Stuff towels or blankets at the bottom of the door to your heat zone to block drafts. Seal the room's vents with cardboard and tape to prevent heat from escaping into the ductwork. Take it a step further by creating barriers. Hang thick blankets, heavy curtains, or even tarps in hallways or large doorways to section off the heated area. This containment strategy is incredibly effective. A smaller space heats up faster, retains warmth longer, and requires significantly less energy to maintain a comfortable temperature. Every bit of heat, whether from a small heater, an electric blanket, or even collective body heat, is maximized. This method is also crucial for managing limited resources. If you're relying on a generator or a battery power station, you can't afford to waste electricity heating an empty guest room or a drafty kitchen. Zone heating allows you to direct that limited power to where it matters most, the space where you will eat, sleep, and stay safe. This strategy provides a powerful psychological boost as well. Huddling together in a warm, well-lit room creates a sense of security and normalcy when the world outside is cold and hostile. It keeps morale high and helps everyone, especially children, feel safe. By shrinking the battlefield, you turn a daunting challenge into a manageable one, ensuring your resources last as long as possible. 4. Master your windows. The day-night heat management system. Windows are the thermal weak points of any home. While they provide light and a view, untreated glass is a massive vulnerability in the fight against cold, silently siphoning warmth out of your living space. Properly managing your windows isn't just a minor tweak, it's a critical strategy that can dramatically alter your home's ability to retain heat. This requires a disciplined day and night routine that transforms your windows from energy liabilities into passive heating assets. During daylight hours, even on overcast days, your windows are a source of free solar energy. The first rule is to harness this natural resource. As soon as the sun is up, every curtain and blind on south and west-facing windows should be opened completely. This allows sunlight to stream in, warming the air, floors, and furniture. This process, known as passive solar gain, is a powerful tool. The thermal mass of your home, the floors, walls, and even dark-colored furniture will absorb this heat and slowly radiate it back into the room long after sunset. Every degree of warmth you gain for free is a degree your backup heating system doesn't have to produce, conserving precious fuel and power. However, the moment dusk arrives, these same windows become your enemy. As outside temperatures fall, the temperature difference between the inside and outside of the glass creates a powerful heat loss dynamic. A single pane of glass offers almost no insulation, and even double-paned windows struggle against a deep freeze. This is when you must switch from heat collection to heat retention. Thin, decorative curtains are useless here. You need to create a robust thermal barrier. The most effective solution is to install thermal insulated drapes, which have a thick lining designed to block thermal transfer. For a DIY alternative, layer a reflective survival blanket behind your existing curtains, shiny side facing inward, to reflect heat back into the room. Secure the curtains tightly against the wall using Velcro strips, magnets, or even tacks to seal the edges and prevent convective heat loss around the frame. For an even stronger defense, apply a layer of bubble wrap directly to the window glass. The trapped air bubbles create an excellent insulating pocket. Simply spray a fine mist of water on the glass and press the bubble wrap into place. It's not elegant, but it's incredibly effective. 5. Prioritize safe heating, master carbon monoxide and generator safety. Generating warmth during a winter power outage is essential for survival, but the methods you use can introduce a silent and lethal threat into your home: carbon monoxide. Each year, preventable tragedies occur not from the cold itself, but from the improper use of combustion-based heaters and generators. CO is an invisible, odorless gas produced by burning fuel, and it can incapacitate and kill within minutes. Therefore, establishing safe heating protocols is not just another hack, it is the most important rule for winter preparedness. The non-negotiable first rule is that any device burning fuel, be it gasoline, propane, natural gas, kerosene, or charcoal, must be used with extreme caution. Generators are the biggest offenders. They must never be operated indoors, including in a garage, even with the door open, basement, or on a covered porch. A generator must be placed at least 20 feet away from any door, window, or vent to prevent exhaust from seeping into your living space. When running an extension cord from the generator into the house, pass it through a purpose-built wall port or a dryer vent. If you must use a window or door, seal the opening around the cord meticulously with towels, tape, or foam to block both CO and cold drafts. Beyond generators, indoor-rated propane or kerosene heaters require careful management. Only use heaters specifically designed for indoor use, and ensure they are equipped with an oxygen depletion sensor, ODS, that automatically shuts the unit off if oxygen levels become too low. Even with these features, you must provide adequate ventilation by cracking a window on opposite sides of the room to create cross-flow. The cornerstone of your CO safety plan is detection. Install battery-operated carbon monoxide detectors on every level of your home, especially outside sleeping areas and near the room where you are using a BUPA heater. Test them monthly and replace the batteries every 6 months. Never assume you will smell a problem or feel symptoms in time to react. Co-poisoning mimics flu-like symptoms, and by the time you feel dizzy or nauseous, it may be too late to escape. Your warmth is useless if your environment is toxic. 6. Assemble your indoor stay-in kit, immediate access to core supplies. True preparedness is about more than just having supplies. It's about having them organized and immediately accessible when a crisis hits. When the power goes out and your home is rapidly losing heat, the last thing you want to do is search for flashlights in a dark basement or rummage through a garage for blankets. A dedicated indoor stay-in kit is the solution. This isn't a bug-out bag for evacuation. It's a consolidated, ready-to-use cache of essentials designed to support you and your family within your primary shelter or heated zone. This kit should be stored in a portable, clearly marked container like a large tote or duffel bag and kept in the room you've designated as your warm zone. The contents should be organized around core survival needs. Start with warmth. Pack multiple high-quality wool or fleece blankets, thermal emergency bivvies or mylar space blankets for each person, and several pairs of thick socks, hats, and gloves. Disposable hand and body warmers are an excellent, long-lasting source of personal heat. Next is light and communication. Include several reliable LED lanterns and headlamps to provide hands-free light. Pack at least 2 full sets of extra batteries for every electronic device, including your flashlights, CO detectors, and a battery-powered or hand-crank emergency radio for receiving weather alerts. A portable power bank for charging phones is also essential. For food and water, your kit should contain non-perishable, ready-to-eat items that require no cooking. High-calorie energy bars, nuts, dried fruit, and peanut butter are excellent choices. Include a manual can opener for any canned goods. Pack at least 1 gallon of water per person per day with a minimum 3-day supply stored nearby. Also include electrolyte powders, as dehydration can happen quickly in a dry, cold environment. Finally, add items for safety and morale. A well-stocked first aid kit is non-negotiable. Include a deck of cards, books, or other non-electric entertainment to help pass the time and reduce stress. Having these critical supplies in one place eliminates guesswork and allows you to focus on managing your situation with a clear head. Harness passive solar energy to create fuel-free heat. Every single day, even in the dead of winter, a powerful and completely free source of heat shines down on your home. Most people let this energy go to waste, but with a few simple DIY adjustments, you can capture it and use it to warm your living space without burning any fuel or using a single watt of electricity. This is the principle of passive solar heating, a practical strategy that turns your home into a giant, sun-powered heat trap. It's not a complex architectural concept, it's a hands-on technique for generating real warmth when you need it most. The core idea is simple. Let sunlight in through your windows and give it something to heat up. Begin by identifying the windows in your home that receive the most direct sunlight, typically those facing south or west. During the day, keep the curtains and blinds on these windows wide open. Now, place dark-colored objects directly in the path of the sunlight. These objects will act as your thermal mass. You don't need anything special. Common household items work perfectly. Think dark-colored jugs filled with water, bricks, large ceramic tiles, or even a stack of dark-spined books. These materials absorb the sun's radiant energy throughout the day and then slowly release that stored heat back into the room as the sun sets and the ambient temperature drops. This simple setup can raise a room's temperature by several degrees, providing a buffer of warmth that costs you nothing. To amplify this effect, you can build a simple passive solar air heater. This can be constructed with basic materials you might already have. Take a shallow box or build a frame and paint the inside back panel flat black. Cover the front of the box with a clear material, like a sheet of plexiglass or even heavy-duty plastic sheeting, leaving a small air gap between the black panel and the clear cover. Cut a small vent at the bottom of the box and another at the top. When you place this device in direct sunlight, the black panel heats up intensely. Cooler air from the room is drawn in through the bottom vent, gets heated as it passes over the hot panel, and then rises, flowing out of the top vent as warm air. This creates a silent, continuous convection loop that actively pumps warm air into your space. It's a low-tech, scalable solution that directly converts sunlight into usable heat. 8. Utilize thermal mass to store and radiate warmth through the night. When the sun disappears, your primary source of free heat goes with it. This is when the cold begins to press in, and your stored resources come under strain. However, you can fight back against the nightly temperature drop without relying on fuel or electricity by mastering the use of thermal mass. This strategy involves using dense materials to absorb heat during the day and then slowly radiate it back out all night long. It is a powerful, no-cost method for stabilizing the temperature in your warm zone and reducing your reliance on active heating systems. The principle is straightforward. Dense objects heat up and cool down much more slowly than the air around them. Your job is to charge these objects with heat when it's available and then position them to release that heat where you need it most. Rocks are an excellent and readily available thermal mass. Bricks, large landscaping stones, or even ceramic tiles work perfectly. During the day, place these items in direct sunlight or near any active heat source you might be running, such as a wood stove or a safely operated propane heater. By evening, they will have absorbed a significant amount of thermal energy. Carefully move these heated objects into your main living area. For safety and to better control the heat release, wrap the hot stones in thick towels or place them on a fireproof surface, like a metal tray or a brick hearth. They will act as silent, passive radiators, steadily releasing warmth for hours. Water is another incredibly effective material for storing heat. Fill several dark-colored containers. Black painted milk jugs or soda bottles work well with water and place them in your sunniest windows during the day. Water has a high specific heat capacity, meaning it can store a great deal of energy. As night falls, these containers of warm water will function just like the heated stones, gently radiating warmth and helping to keep the room's temperature from plummeting. By creating a routine of charging your thermal mass during the day and deploying it at night, you create a sustainable, fuel-free heating cycle. This approach won't make your room toasty, but it will hold the line against dangerous cold, making the space more livable, preserving your morale, and extending the life of your critical fuel and battery reserves. 9. Conduct a full system cold weather dry run to expose weaknesses. All the planning, preparation, and gear in the world are meaningless until they are tested under realistic conditions. A plan that exists only on paper is a liability, and an untested piece of equipment is a potential point of failure. The only way to know if your winter preparedness strategy will actually work is to put it to the test. This is why a full system dry run is arguably the most important hack of all. It's a simulated emergency that puts you and your systems under pressure, revealing flaws and weaknesses while the stakes are low. Finding a problem during a drill is a lesson learned. Finding it during a real crisis is a disaster. Choose a cold evening for your test. Inform your family of the plan, then commit to it fully. At a set time, turn off your home's main heat source and cut the power at the circuit breaker. Now your emergency begins. Immediately retreat to your designated warm zone and execute your plan exactly as you would in a real grid-down scenario. Seal the door, deploy your draft blockers, and cover the windows. Activate your backup lighting and check your communication devices. This is your dress rehearsal, and your goal is to live within your prepared system for several hours or even overnight if you can. Pay close attention to every detail. How long does it take for the room to feel noticeably colder? Move around the space. Can you feel drafts coming from the sealed windows or under the door? Use a candle or an incense stick to hunt for air leaks. The flickering flame will reveal where your seals are failing. Evaluate your backup systems. How effective is your zone heating? Is your thermal mass radiating heat as expected? Are your battery-powered lights bright enough? Most importantly, how do you and your family feel? Are you comfortable enough to rest? Is your stay-in kit easily accessible and logically organized? This trial will give you invaluable real-world data that no amount of research can provide. At the end of the drill, take detailed notes on what worked, what didn't, and what needs improvement. Perhaps your window insulation needs another layer, or you realize you need more ready-to-eat food. Every insight gained during this dry run is a critical adjustment that strengthens your defense against the cold, ensuring that when a real winter storm hits, your plan doesn't just work in theory, it works in reality.